I was expecting something more along the lines of just a traditional slasher film. Didn't expect a psychological thriller. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't mind me. I'm just currently reeking off the benefits of my last reaction videos. Those videos appear to be some of the most viewed videos on the internet. However, I'm afraid to say that the views in those videos are starting to stagnate, so I think it's about time that I started making some more reaction videos, because I am a hack. Candyman is a new Jordan Peele produced horror film that was released last week, and it is probably up there as being one of my most anticipated films for the year. However, what if I told you that Candyman, like 90% of big budget films that come out nowadays, was actually based on someone else's material? Today I'm going to be reacting to Candyman from 1992, the original Candyman. And I know nothing about this film. I don't know anything about the plot synopsis or anything like that. I know quite a bit about the character of Candyman himself. I know he's got a hook for a hand, he's got something to do with bees, and you're not supposed to say his name 5 times in front of a mirror, or else that summons him. There we go. 3rd time's the charm. I don't even know anything about this film's reputation. I don't know if it was critically adored or if it was a box office hit. However, I am aware that this is sort of a horror staple, particularly to those in the black community, because this was one of the first horror films to have a black character as its antagonist, as opposed to being the first victim. But besides that, I know jack shit about Candyman, so without further ado, who can make the sun rise? Sprinkle it with dew, cover it in chocolate and a miracle or two. Candyman, 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 Candyman. Yes, man. Love the Universal logo. One of my favourites. It's the tinnitus kicking in. I am loving these opening credits. If you want to get to my soft spot, include a choir in your score.
They will say that I have shed innocent blood. With my hook for a hand, I'll split you from your groin to your gullet.
Oh! I felt that line, Christ. What the fuck is going on?
I came for you.
I'm getting David Lynch vibes.
She always kind of had the hots for Billy because he was like a bad boy. And Michael was, he was just so nice.
Man.
Have you ever heard of Candyman? If you look in the mirror and you say his name 5 times, he'll appear behind you, breathing down your neck. You want to try it?
How erotic. It's getting me horny.
Candyman, 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 Candyman.
And I don't know why, but she said his name the last time.
Candyman.
She turned out the lights.
I was expecting it. I was keeping an eye on that jacket in the background, and I was thinking that's going to turn into him. I was expecting like some sort of slow build-up or something, not a fucking jump scare.
They are the unself-conscious reflection of the fears of urban society.
I hate that cliche in films. I hate that when the bell goes whilst the teacher's still talking. These are our victims.
So, keep up the good work.
Yeah,
thank you for your contributions.
Well, I guess not. They're leaving. I was expecting the fat one to be killed off first. If it's not the black guy, it's the fat guy.
You promised you wouldn't do the urban legends lecture until next semester.
Why do I get the feeling that this is going to give us some sort of psycho scenario? She's going to get killed off midway through, and her college/university lecturer husband is going to end up being the main character. She looks a lot like the woman from Psycho. What's her name? I've watched Psycho countless times, and yet I can't remember the character's name.
Okay, now look carefully at this picture. And then this one.
They're two completely different buildings.
That's not Cabrini Green. It's this building.
Okay, it's great having the boiler in my room. It adds more intensity to horror films. Candyman's going to smash through that mirror at some point. I bet you. I bet you. If I keep trying to predict it, surely I'll get something right.
Candyman,
Oh, shit.
Candyman, Candyman, Candyman. Candyman. Oh, you chicken!
I'm chicken. I'm a chicken. When the music's kicking in and oh. Right. So it is just an urban legend then. Oh shit, now we've got a panning camera!
Oh, Trevor.
Bloody fake out jump scares, I hate them. I hate them with a passion. Here comes the choir again. Fantastic!
What's with the arsenal, Bernadette? We're only going 8 blocks.
Marion Crane. Marion Crane was the protagonist in Psycho. I remember now. I'm also loving these aerial shots. I didn't expect this film to be that high budget. I was expecting something a little bit more grimy and gritty. I don't know why I react to horror films on this channel. I'm not a fan of them.
Alright, let's listen.
I don't want to listen. There's going to be a bat or something, or a raven or something like that flying out, or a mouse, or a rat, or she's just going to crawl in there like a stupid idiot. I don't remember this character's name, but for the rest of the reaction I'm just going to refer to her as Marion Crane. There's going to be something behind that door. There's going to be something behind that door. She's going to close that mirror door and there's going to be something behind it. Yeah. Oh, for God's sake. Is that candy? Is that candy? Yes! We've actually got candy. With razor blades. Right, I don't remember that bit in Willy Wonka. Oh. Good thing I swallowed my mouth there, it would have ended up going everywhere. Only half an hour in, and I've jumped about 87 times.
You got kids?
No, but I'd love one.
Oh, for God's sake, it's going to end up being another fly situation, isn't it? Candyman's going to come in, cause a ruckus, and then Marion's going to be pregnant with Candyman's baby. Candy baby.
He had a prodigious talent as an artist. He was commissioned by a wealthy landowner to capture his daughter's virginal beauty. Well, of course, they fell deeply in love, and she became pregnant. Father executed a terrible revenge. He paid a pack of brutal hooligans to do the deed. They chased Candyman through the town to Cabrini Green, where they proceeded to saw off his right hand with a rusty blade. Nearby, there was an apiary. Dozens of hives, filled with hungry bees. They smashed the hives and stole the honeycomb and smeared it over his prone, naked body.
That is how you do exposition. Start off with the character having a monologue, very boring, and then as he gets in deeper into the story, bloody dog! As he gets deeper into the story, add some sounds and stuff, build up the atmosphere. Very good.
His mom is taking her time, choosing this, looking at that. So the boy started moaning.
Why is this boy talking like a 40-year-old man?
His mom's at the checkout. She hears her boy screaming.
You bastards!
Was a boy murdered?
Worse. He's lying on the floor in a pool of blood, holding himself. They found it floating in a toilet. Can't fix that. Better off dead.
Did Candyman do this?
It's just going about cutting off people's balls. I mean, it's a men's bathroom, right? And you're not a man. Don't go in there. Look, I've skipped breakfast this morning. I wouldn't mind a couple of sweets right now. A couple of Cadbury's chocolate buttons. Oh, that would perk me right up. I'm just going to open the doors one by one. Just going to get to the last one. And there's going to be something there. Ugh.
Oh, excuse me. I'm done here. I'll just get out of your way.
That would be an interesting twist. If Candyman is just some guy.
I don't want to interfere with your business. I'm not a cop.
For fuck's sake. No matter how many times I tell my family that I'm filming. Oh.
Whoa, slow down. You're supposed to be the invalid here.
No, it's much better. Look, see.
So how many days have passed? That would have taken months to heal up.
You haven't eaten already, have you?
No, of course not.
Just the way he said that line, it makes me think that he is maybe not the most committed in the relationship.
The pictures. A friend of mine in the photography department managed to save most of them.
Keep an eye on the road, you dumb boot! Oh. Digging his shoes.
Helen.
Yes?
Helen.
Don't like that.
Be my victim.
Is she gonna be possessed? Is she gonna become possessed by Candyman? What's going on? Christ! It's a Doug's decapitated head. This is a nightmare, surely. Surely to God, this is a nightmare. It's going to cut to her waking up in bed.
Take off your brassiere.
Good, turn away. That way I don't have to censor it for YouTube.
Some information has indicated that baby Anthony was abducted and may still be alive. The blood may have come from the dog. A suspect was released this morning after questioning, and I guess we'll just have to follow this one as it develops.
Didn't really buy her performance. Was that the best take that you got? Ah, titch. That bath water is pretty milky. Speaking of which, cheers. Don't say it. Don't say it. Please don't. Oh, and then she's gonna close. I've seen this trick done before. She's gonna close the mirror over, and then Candyman's gonna be standing behind her or something, or she's gonna be Candyman. Right. Okay. The film had me fooled there. Candyman's gonna smash through that mirror at some point. I bet you. Bet you.
Helen! Helen?
Didn't he kill Bernadette, did he? Bloody needles. Get vaccinated.
Why do you want to live? If you would learn just a little from me.
I like the sort of echo and reverb that Candyman's voice has, especially when I'm wearing AirPods. It feels as though his voice is coming into my ear holes and massaging my brain before getting his claw hand out and stabbing it, probably. I mean, I did start this video off by saying his name 5 times, so if I die, tell Batro I love him. That's one brave baby, I'll tell you.
I'd like to speak to my husband.
So would I.
What was that supposed to mean? Is he the one sleeping with the husband?
Miss Lyle, I'm Dr. Burke.
Dr. Buck, hello, you are going to die. Your fascination and your research. It's got to your head, man. I wasn't expecting the film to be like this. I was expecting something more along the lines of just a traditional slasher film. Didn't expect a psychological thriller.
Candyman.
I knew it was going to happen. My God. Surely it's not that simple. Everyone in the ward would recognise your face.
Please be home, Trevor. Please be home.
No. Or he might be home. He'll be having intercourse with that male nurse.
Get out of my home.
It's one of the students from earlier on in the film. The evil bastards. It's been a while since we had a jump scare. Oh! Is that him? I need to get my shoes on because I'm going out with my friends, but I don't want to miss any of the climax. My shoes are right there. All I need to do is slap them on. It's not going to end with her just stabbing him, surely.
Helen.
That's going to do nothing. He's a ghost.
Our names will be written on 1,000 walls. We shall die together in front of their very eyes.
This is the strangest love story I have ever seen. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's... That sound effect. That sound effect though. Why do I get the feeling that this 2021 remake is going to be one of these soft reboot things, and the main character in that film is going to end up being Anthony, the little baby? I get it. I get it. She's the one that was sort of amplifying the lore of Candyman. She was the one that... I don't know what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I get it. I get it. I understand what's going on. did not expect this. I did not expect this. She's dead. And what are you doing here? I'm sorry, but an attractive looking white blonde woman dies. There would be a lot more people attending her funeral than just 4 bastards. Well, 3 bastards. I don't know who that other guy is at the end. He's going to end up looking at that mirror. He's going to say Candyman, 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 Candyman. He's going to say it, man. He's going to say it. Or is he going to say Helen 5 times? That would be a twist.
Oh, Helen. Helen. Helen.
Oh no. Need to end on a big...
Helen.
Trevor? Trevor?
Fantastic ending. That is how you end a bloody horror picture. So it is absolutely roasting in here. So I'm not going to talk about this film for too long because trust me, if I take my shirt off, it'll be 10 times scarier than anything that we have just witnessed. If I were to describe Candyman in one word, that word would be chilling. This is a very, very chilling film that I don't think gets talked about nearly as much as it should be. I mean, people are certainly talking about the film now, but I think that's only because this new film is a thing. And why is that? Why does this film not get talked about nearly as much as, say, Halloween or Friday the 13th or Scream, you know, other slasher films that were coming out at roughly the same time? I'm asking you specifically, why is this? Why haven't you seen Candyman 1992? I think part of that is due to the fact that this is more of a psychological thriller than it is a slasher film. There are still plenty of brutal moments, jump scares and an intimidating antagonist to cater to the slasher fans, but I would say that this film is more of a cautionary tale exploring the dangers of obsession. To quote one of the finest texts in media, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Top 10 reasons why Candyman and The Dark Knight are the same movie. It may be a bit premature for me to say this, but I think Helen might be my favourite horror protagonist of all time. She starts off as being fairly unlikable. She doesn't really seem that caring. She just wants to get her thesis done in just stereotypical student bullshit. But about midway through, you really start to feel sympathy for her as her mental state starts to decline. And it's a nice, steady, gradual decline. It's not like Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, in which it just cuts suddenly to Jack Nicholson being off his fucking tits. But in a horror film like this, in order to create a compelling protagonist, you also need to have a very compelling antagonist. And Tony Todd's performance as Candyman is absolutely stupendous. Just the way he holds himself in scenes, it's very, very intimidating. And his voice, man. Just how committed Tony Todd is to his performance, it's very admirable. That scene where Candyman's spewing out bees, that was real. That was real. That wasn't a fake prosthetic Tony Todd. Tony Todd actually put live bees in his mouth. He is a mentalist. Get him locked up. I like how, just like Helen, the character of Candyman is one that you can also feel sympathy for, especially as more of his backstory gets to be revealed. And that's probably the thing that I like most about this film, is that you can draw many different conclusions. You could see it as a film that explores the dangers of obsession and intrigue like I did, or you could see it as a tragic Romeo and Juliet type love story. If you've seen Candyman 1992, please tell me your interpretations and theories in the comment section down below. Let's have a little bit of engagement. It builds up the views and such. I also just love the way that this film both looks and sounds. I have been obsessed with this film's soundtrack since watching it again. I've got a thing for choirs. I have no clue what makes good music, I just know what I like to listen to, and the Candyman soundtrack is one that I like to listen to. The camera work as well, especially the establishing shots in the first half of the film. I love me a good aerial shot, especially in a horror film like this. It sort of gives the impression that Candyman is looking over everyone. It was atmospheric, it was perfectly paced. Look, it was just a good time. Minus the fake out jump scares and performances from some of the side characters. Not even the side characters, just the little bit parts. I didn't like the character of Stacy all that much. So when compared to the other movies that I've reacted to in this channel, while I wouldn't say that Candyman was as good as The Fly, I would much sooner rewatch this film than Cannibal Holocaust or The Human Centipede. But before you leave, just sit at peace, because I'm not finished yet. I'm going to quickly discuss my thoughts on the 2021 Candyman. Just for a little bit. Just sit down. Candyman 2021, much to my surprise, is actually a sequel to the first Candyman. But despite that, I wouldn't say that the first one is essential viewing going into this. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to check the first film out beforehand. I do think that both the first film and this new one serve as a good little double feature. But if you haven't seen the first film, it's okay. This new one gives you a little bit of a recap. And it does it in such a way that doesn't feel tacked on or out of place. It's not like a TV show in which it's like, last time on Candyman. The entirety of the first film is pretty much recapped through one of these shadow puppet vignettes that are quite prevalent throughout the film. The direction from Nina DaCosta. Christ, I've never been this excited about a new up-and-coming filmmaker. Every time a character does give a backstory or spews exposition, instead of having the character just sit there and spew it all out for the audience, we instead get these little dynamic shadow puppet performances that I just absolutely adored. The actors as well are also doing a very good job. However, I don't think the characters are nearly as well developed as they were in the first film. The main character, Anthony, who, as I predicted, was the baby in the first film, does sort of share that same issue that I have with Jack Nicholson in The Shining, in that he starts off fairly normal and then it feels as though that just suddenly he becomes crazy. But the performance from Yahya Abdul Mateen II, I'm sorry, I am very much butchering that name. He gives a captivating performance, as he always does, and unlike the first film, I think that the entirety of the supporting cast is entertaining. Like the original, this film looks great, it sounds great, and I knew that I was going to love this film right from the first second when they use the Sammy Davis Jr. rendition of Candyman over the production logos at the start of the film. Whilst most audiences were hyped with the throne room scene in The Last Jedi or the portal scene in Avengers Endgame, I was freaking out when this film started playing Sammy Davis Jr.'s Candyman. I also love the tone of this film. It's not scary, but it is very, very eerie and very mysterious. 90% of the time we see Candyman as just a reflection in a mirror or a window, and it does require the audience to just sort of look about for him at points. And if you're going into this film looking for a gory jump scare fest, you're not going to get it here. There aren't a lot of jump scares. A lot of the deaths and kills in this film are off screen or shown at an extreme distance. This film is definitely more leaning towards the psychological thriller aspects of the first film than it is the slasher aspects. There's also a lovely little bit of body horror in there, with a scene that is lifted almost directly from The Fly. And I was freaking the fuck out when I saw that scene projected on a big screen. So it sounds as though I loved this movie. And I did. It's one of my favourite films of the year. However, the film still has a pretty major issue. It's a very weird issue for me to point out because usually I'm complaining about the opposite. But I think this film is just way too short. Much like the first film, this one is only about an hour and 40 minutes long, which is something that I can very much appreciate in this day and age. But I just think this film is trying to tackle way too much in that hour and 40 minutes. I could easily see this film be extended to 2 hours, and I would have no problem with that. It's one of those things where they maybe spend too much time on one subplot and not enough time on another. The film tries to explore black culture more than the first film did, but it also spends a bit too much time exploring the art culture side of things. But at the end of the day, you just want to see the main character go crazy and you want to feel sorry for him. And on that standpoint, the film very much succeeds. This film is certainly not for everyone. If I were to compare it to another film, it would be Jordan Peele's Us. But I do think there's a lot in here to at least give the film a try. And that is what I think of Candyman 1992 and 2021. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like and send a comment, subscribe to the channel, do all that. It doesn't help that I've got a ring light. I feel like I'm staring directly into the sun. Candyman. 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 Candyman.